What is up, CMS Braves? Welcome back to another edition of the 14th Colony Vodcast. It is Wednesday, February 24th, and we are talking some abolitionists today, Mr. Congleton. Can you tell us, what is an abolitionist? How do you earn that name?
Right. Abolish. Abolish means to end, to put away with something. So these particular people are trying to get rid of slavery. So slavery, obviously something that's a stain on our history and something that we, can't be proud of at all. And so these people in the North were like, all right, how do we get rid of this? And we got to stop it. We talked about the founding fathers thought that slavery would kind of go away on its own as time went on and as the nation expanded. But because of the money involved, because of the cotton gin and the way that they were able to process the cotton so quickly, slavery kind of rose with that, which we talked about in the past. So some people kind of stood out as the forebears of the abolitionist movement. So we've talked about Harriet Tubman. She's down in the South. She's getting rid of the slaves as one at a time, going back and forth. I think the video said like 17 different times, saved almost 100 people. So that's incredible. So there's that option, right? That's very difficult. But then we've got the people like William Lloyd Garrison, who are newspaper editors. So the biggest form of communication in those days was the newspapers. So newspapers are a major deal. And he has the Liberator, which is the name of the newspaper. And so they're distributing that. But even in the North, even we talk about the North being anti-slavery, but that doesn't mean they were it was a great place where everyone wanted equality, right? So people were attacking his newspaper. They were messing with the printing press. They were starting it on fire, all kinds of different things. So you're risking your life to go out on a limb to do this thing. The other thing today, you're going to read about 5 different abolitionists. And Harriet Beecher Stowe wrote Uncle Tom's Cabin. That novel was a huge success, bestseller, and that kind of opened everybody's eyes to the issues with slavery. Not to go on too long of a ramble here, but if anything happens today in our society, it's on our phones immediately, and it's on Twitter, it's on Facebook, it's on the 24-hour cable news networks. You can see videos of it because somebody had their camera available, and so you're just hit with it 100 times, right? But back then, if you lived in the North, you had no idea what slavery was like. You'd heard about slavery, you knew there was slavery involved, but you didn't know what it was like to live on a plantation, to work, kind of the horrors that went around with it. So just realize that a book like Uncle Tom's Cabin was the first time that people kind of read in detail what it could have been like on the plantations. And it was an eye-opener for a lot of people, and it got the ball rolling to eventually end slavery.
Yeah, good stuff. I think John Brown, someone that they should have talked about last year in Kansas history, was also a pretty famous abolitionist. So if you're looking for someone that you should be familiar with a little bit already, he was an abolitionist as well. But yeah, I think it's important to know, and I think that'll be really eye-opening for you guys to look at, like Mr. Congleton said, you guys have Instagram, TikTok, all that stuff where something's going on, like someone makes a pasta dish out of feta cheese, and all of a sudden, before you know it, the whole country is out of feta cheese because nobody has it because everyone's making this recipe. Like, that's a silly example, but that's exactly how it is today. Back then, like you said, Uncle Tom's Cabin, when people read that was startling. People had no idea that was going on. America is such a big country that, thousands of miles separated parts of the North and the South, and you just had no idea what was going on. So it is, look at it from that perspective today of, it is different today, way different today, just how news travels than it was back then. So guys, that's all we got for you today. Thank you for joining us. And until next time, be excellent to each other.